What's up, everybody? We are back here on the Hunter Called Wild, and it's finally time for a Mule Deer Great One grinding guide. Now, we've got a lot of things that I want to talk about. Keep in mind, I may learn more things as I continue playing on Askiy Ridge and grinding for the Great One Mule Deer, so this is obviously something where this is information that's useful at the time, but in a few months, who knows? Maybe we'll know some more about it. Let's go ahead and take a look at a map that I drew up of all the locations that you can find mule deer. Now, Askiy Ridge is actually a really good mule deer map, so I highly recommend using this map for your Great One grind if you're going to be grinding for the Mule Deer Great One, because it is going to be the easiest map you have ever seen for mule deer. Not only is there a very limited amount of lakes that they can create drink zones at, but there's also absolutely zero on the river, which is huge. That makes a massive difference when it comes to finding all of your zones, finding the solos that bounce from one zone to another as you kill them, and just in general, it makes the whole thing a whole lot easier. The drink time for the mule deer is going to be 15 to 18, and I personally would recommend hunting the last hour or hour and a half of that drink time, as that's typically when they're most likely to be in their drink zone. Another key thing is going to be the tent placement. You're going to want to make sure that your tents are at least 180 meters away, because that is the spook distance for when you fast travel to a tent. Anything within that spook distance of 180 meters is going to run away the second you fast travel. And I personally recommend putting the tent around 200 meters away just to make sure that you've got a little bit of wiggle room in case they decide to shift from one side of the zone to the other. For example, sometimes the mule deer will be right here, which is about 215 away from my tent, and sometimes they'll be like clear over here, which is about 285. So there's quite a range that they can show up at, and that's why I try to make sure I'm at least 200 plus away from the zone. Now, when it comes to actually hunting the mule deer here, if you're not going to be doing herd management and you just want to shoot every deer in sight, this is about all the information you need to know: the locations, the time, where to place your tents, etc. But if you want to do herd management, you are going to want to leave these guys right here. Low weight estimate level 2s, the 105 to 140 kg males are the ones you want to leave. If it's larger than that, you probably want to shoot it unless it's one of the few remaining, like solos, for example, which there are a lot of with the mule deer. You will need to manage down a lot of solos, and I would recommend focusing on them first if you're going to herd manage, because they can be a pain the longer things go. Now, if you're not going to be doing a herd management grind, you can place claiming tents immediately and just pick out your favorite zones. Find your favorite zones, set up a tent a couple hundred meters away, and then put a claiming tent right on top of it and just go to town. However, if you're doing a herd management grind, I would recommend only having about one tent per lake to start things out, and then as you manage the map down, you can start moving them around. That's what I ended up doing, and it worked out pretty well. We started out with a lot of setups like this. We've got a tent, we've got our stand, and we just ATV down to claim the animal. But now, as we've managed down the majority of the map and only have around 20 bucks above level 2 remaining, we've been able to put down claiming tents for pretty much every location that I hunt, at least the majority of my main ones. There's a few that just have one tent near them. That's mainly to check for stragglers. But aside from that, we've got pretty much everything set up with claiming tents now as we've managed everything down. Another massive tip that I would recommend is if you've got a lake that just really sucks to hunt and you don't like having to check it, it's okay to delete that zone. That's what I did to a couple of them. And the reason that it's okay in this scenario, and it normally would be considered not a great thing if you're grinding for a great one on another map, the big reason that it's different here is the fact that there's such a low amount of places they can go that when you kill, for example, a zone right here, there's a good chance it's going to go to a zone here or another nearby lake like over here. And I use that to my advantage whenever I did this grind. We deleted a zone from right here, and it ended up right here. It was actually kind of crazy to see it work in action, but that is something I would definitely recommend. I also deleted a zone from here, and it showed up right here, which is a much easier place to hunt. So I would definitely recommend that if you're trying to min-max and get the best zones possible. It absolutely works wonders for the grind. Another recommendation that I would give you guys is to always go with the same route every single time. Now, for example, if this is the zone I go to first on this run, and this is the one that I end with, then you want to be doing that the same way every single time. So what I do is I go here, then I go here, then I go here. I then go down here, then I go here to this zone, then I'll go here, and then I will end here. And occasionally every few runs, I'll check up here to see if I have a straggler. Same with down here. But I go with the same route every single time. And the reason that I do this is to make sure that we actually get reliable respawns, because if you start going to random zones, one might not have had the time to respawn their deer, while the other one may have had the time to respawn its deer. So it can get kind of messy. You can have some zones that don't have anything, and then you're just bouncing around trying to figure out where they are. Whereas if you go in order, you pretty much know that the zone you're about to go to is going to be the one that you visited the longest ago, and that gives more time for the respawns to arrive there. Whereas, like, let's say I end my run with this lake right here, and then on the next run, I go there first. Nothing's going to be respawned, because I literally just killed them there. So you want to go in the same order every time to make sure that you get those respawns. Another thing that I strongly recommend is that at the end of each run, you exit to the main menu, just like this. And the reason for that is because whenever you shoot deer out of a herd, that herd becomes nervous. And I don't know the exact timer. I think it's about like 15, 20 minutes. They'll be nervous for 15 to 20 minutes, and they will not come back to their zones during that time. So if you just try to keep repeating the run without going to the main menu, you're not going to have any deer at your zones in so many cases. It's going to be quite brutal, in fact. Now, another trick that myself and others commonly use is if you're going to a zone and you don't see anything there, just reset the time back a little bit. Some people like to go 1 minute. I personally go back to kind of close to the beginning of the hour. And usually the deer will show up. And there they are. There's our deer. Now, it does get quite expensive at times to do this. You will burn through a lot of cash in game. But if all you care about is being fast and efficient, then this is something that's pretty much a necessity. Another thing that I probably should have mentioned earlier is that if you are using tents for your grind, which I assume 99% of people that are doing a grind will be using tents, as that's kind of required to be efficient. But if you're using your tents and you're setting them up, you're going to want to have a stand or a blind out front of the tent to shoot from. That way you keep the hunting pressure down. I personally recommend these little blinds right here because you can place them really close to the tent. If I wanted to, I could place it right next to the tent, which is something you just can't do with a tripod. Now, if you require a little elevation from the area you're shooting from, a tripod's definitely going to be a little bit nicer for those scenarios, so it's really up to you, but that's my recommendation. Now, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything else you really need to know to grind mule deer. Like I said, though, if I learn more about the mule deer grind in like a month or two, maybe we'll update a guide, but right now, this is what I've got. I think this is going to probably help a lot of you. Hopefully, if it does, leave a comment down below. I've got some highlights from the last few streams, so we're going to play those now for you guys to watch as a little bit of a bonus part of this video. If you just came for the guide, thank you for watching. If not, let's get into the clips. There's a big boy. That's a 5. Let's go. We got a 5, chat. First glance, I didn't even realize it was a 5 because of the angle. Like, this angle does not make it look like a 5. That was actually kind of crazy. I was just staring at it like, huh, there's a 4. But no, it's a 5. Oh, and thank you for the super chat. Keep thinking I'm getting piebald wood bison. Just from, like, the lighting or what? I assume the lighting tricking you. There's definitely some lighting that definitely can trick you on this map. So, you had a rough day, buddy? Not looking too great. Oh, yeah, he's really not looking great. Ew. Oh, that's such a bad troll. Oh, big boy 5. That's a big boy 5 right there. Told you guys this grind is cracked now. He turned. Okay. He's going down, and so's his buddy. I don't think I've had this rack be shaped like this before. Wait, is this the touching brow tines rack, but it's super tight? I like this one, actually. I'm taxing that. That's actually a really good-looking deer, man. Yeah, 5 years. It's been over 5 years since we got the Great One Whitetail added to the game. Is that a Mela? Mela! Let's go, chat! Mela! Let's go! We got a melanistic buck, first rare of the grind. It's kind of a wonky little 3 as well, man. And it's a big boy 4 there. Smoked, I think. Yeah, smoked. Beautiful. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. Dude, this is a 50-50 rack that actually kind of matches. Like, the brows aren't that far off in size. It kind of looks like it makes sense. 229 gold. Dude, it looks kind of cool. I like this Mela. This might be my favorite rare we've killed so far. Okay, so there's 3 we can shoot there. Is that dilute? Yo, big level 4 dilute.
Ooh.
Big level 4 dilute. Dude, I think this is the 240s or 250s rack. Kind of the squiggly tined one. Oh, that's cool. Sick.
I think there's known issues with the lodges, right?
We smoked him, chat. Oh, he's so pretty. He's so purty. Look at this buck, guys. This is a beautiful, beautiful rare. 250.55. That's really nice. That's actually an awesome one. That's by far my biggest rare. That's a good scoring rare. That's our second rare in 142 kills. We have almost as many rares as we do diamonds on heavy HM. Oh, big 5. Let's go. Oh, dilute. Oh, why is the dilute next to a 5? Come on, bro. Dude, the 5s are popping finally, though. The dry streak is officially done. But there's a dilute next to a level 5. You have got to be joking. Why couldn't you guys be the same deer? Like is that possible? Can I, like, mesh you guys together? Come on. All right. What a lake. That's what I'm saying, man. All right, so I don't really care if we mess up the dilute, so I'm going to shoot him second. Actually, no, that's a nice dilute now that I think of it. We may have to shoot these guys on separate runs. I don't want to screw them up. You know what? Nailed him. Let's go. It was a risk, and I took it, and we nailed him. Oh, I was wrong. This guy's not big rack. This is touching Browtine's rack. Beautiful. Still nice. I mean, we had him right next to a dilute. Maybe? No, I think we've got one that scores more. Yeah, we definitely have one that scores more. No way, dude. So, it had already changed animations, but it didn't visually look like it was in this pose when we shot it. Wow, that just shows you how close that was. That was so risky. Oh my gosh. Leucistic. Leucistic, but it's a 2. Of course the 2 comes back Leucistic. Oh my gosh. Of course the 2 comes back as a Leucistic. Well, we're going to shoot the Leucistic and then hopefully get that 3 there. Did I just brain shot that second one? Oh, I hope I did. That'd be insane. So far in this grind, it was only dilutes, piebalds, and melas, but now we got a Leucistic. I still haven't got an albino. Crazy. Oh, that's so pretty, man. I have wanted Leucistics in the game for so long for the deer species, like the common deer species, not the other ones like Rusa and things. I'm talking like mule deer, whitetail, blacktail. I've wanted them to add Leucistics for so long. And we finally have one. Oh, it's so pretty. I mean, he's a little tiny stinker right here, but he's still cool. Really nice to get a Leucistic, even if it is about as small as they get.